75, and she's a cradle robber. She's
I'm
76.
76.
A lot of people thought, like, my wife and I were totally crazy to do this. You guys stick your own name on your wine bottles. Means if you're not ashamed of what's in there, and we're not.
Cliff, you were a professor at the prestigious McGill University. After you retired, what possessed you to get into the wine business?
For me, it was because I had spent maybe 20 years doing amateur winemaking. And I was frustrated all the time because I couldn't get good enough grapes. To do this was a sort of a realization of a dream in a way, and an extension of my obsession with making wine and loving wine.
You're relatively new at the game, so where are you at right now with production and size of the operation?
Well, we're producing about 1,000 cases a year, which is minuscule, actually, when you consider that, say, in California, a small winery would be making about 50,000 cases a year.
To produce 1,000 cases, how many vines does it take?
In terms of number of vines, maybe 9,000, 10,000 vines, something like that. It all depends, of course, on how much you limit your yield every year, your crop. Actually, the lower the crop, the better quality wine you get.
Stanner's Vineyard, how did you come up with the name?
We were throwing it back and forth, and we decided, well, let's indicate that we're proud of our product. So let's just call it Stanner's Vineyard. And that name has stuck, and I think we've been very happy that we actually chose it.
So when you chose to get into the wine business, you could have done what everybody else does and gone out to Niagara and done it there.
Yes.
Why Prince Edward County? What was the draw?
Well, the county probably has the best soil and weather patterns, and we were interested in making wine, Burgundian type wine like Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris, and Chardonnay. And so we looked around, and actually the soil that is here is relatively shallow and full of limestone chunks, and underneath, maybe only about 18 inches down, there's limestone shale, which is penetrable by vine roots. So we were very taken with the soils here, and we thought that we could make world-class wine using this soil.
Recently, I'd say in the last 5 years, we're really starting to hear a lot in the Canadian wine world of Prince Edward County. Now we know we've got the Okanagan out west, we have Niagara, Niagara Escarpment, and then of course now this whole big push, which is very new, to be Prince Edward County.
Yeah.
Do you think Prince Edward County has a chance to go head to head with Okanagan or Niagara?
Head to head in quality, yes, definitely. And in fact, the county has come up with wines in about 1 decade that it took 44 decades to reach in Niagara, for example.
Give me an idea of scope and size. How many wineries now have set up shop in Prince Edward County?
As of now, I think there's about 35 wineries now in the county, which is kind of surprising considering that when we first started, there were maybe 3-4 wineries.
So Cliff, I see you're netting all your vines. What are you trying to keep out in this case?
We're trying to keep out birds, and it turns out that Prince Edward County is a major flyway for birds, and so they come through here in the tens of thousands. And when those grapes get ripe, it isn't very long before they're all gone. And it's amazing to see, but not fun to see, when all your grapes disappear in a matter of days. So,
it's very tough. In fact, I'm surprised how actually tough it really is. I was expecting that to be, you know, as thin as it is here, I was expecting it to be maybe a little less tough. How much will it cost you to net 7.5 acres in just netting?
Just netting, it was $30,000.
When you throw in things like netting, and if you really want to make sure you never have a frost, a late frost that kills your vines after they start budding, maybe a wind machine, probably another $30,000. Yeah. Is this really worth it in the end?
Well, We love wine. When you get that wine that you recognize as being first rate, something that you just love to drink with a meal on its own, it is worth it.